Okay, I want to show you some add to and take away from a selection. So I want to make sure you see what I'm doing. I'm adding a create new layer. I've put everything else, same file. We're going to start new files in a little bit, but this is the same file. I just want you to see how Quick Mask really works. So we're going to go into Quick Mask and we're going to draw something by hand. You can use the pen or pencil tool. You can use the selection tools. I'm just going to draw this curly Q. And then to make anything happen, to get the marching ants, which is Photoshop's way of making a stencil, I'm going to get out of Quick Mask. I'll have my marching ants. My layer is now gray and not like that pinky kind of color. See that? So I'm out of Quick Mask. But when I drew that curly Q, I don't know if you can see it in the tutorial, but there's marching ants all the way around, and there's these marching ants, which means if I go to fill this, the only thing that's empty is going to be the curly Q. It's a little counterintuitive. I'm going to go to foreground color, and that's not what I wanted, so I'm going to undo. And then I'm just going to go up to select inverse. And then I'm going to go back into edit, fill, foreground color. And now I got my little curly Q. I don't need this select, so I'm going to deselect. I'm going to get this Marquee tool. I'm going to go back into Quick Mask, and I'm going to alter the Quick Mask using the Marquee tool. So if I go in here now and do edit fill, it's going to alter the shape. Foreground color is black. It's going to alter the shape, and then I'm going to draw another one and make the foreground color white. I'm going to go to edit fill, foreground color white, and that's the shape I got. You can click off and deselect this particular selection tool. I just like you to be in the habit of using deselect, because like if you were in the magic wand, that wouldn't happen. It would just reselect a new area. So that's why I think it's a good habit to get into using deselect. I'm going to go out of the Quick Mask, and I've made this selection with the Marquee tool, and I don't have to invert it when I make it with the Marquee tool. And here's something else I'm going to show you in fill. I've been making the foreground color, which is the way it was for many, many years, but they do have an option if you don't have the color you want and you get in here to go color, and I'm going to pick a hue, a red. Well, maybe I'll make it, a green. Okay, and then okay, and then okay. And now the shape, the custom shape I just made, is green. So, I mean, that's the stencil that I just made. So it gives you an opportunity to add to, take away from shapes, draw stencils by hand. Just remember, there are times when you draw it and there's a default that it's probably backwards from what you think it is. Again, I've said there are ways to change it, but right now just get used to inverting. If it's wrong when you fill it, just undo, invert, and then fill again. That's all you have to do. I want to show you one more thing about adding to selection. I'm going to go select, deselect, turn off the eyeball for a moment. I want to go into the bridge and go to I believe it's my ScreenFlow tutorials where I have a source imagery. Here it is. And I took one of my clip art and lowered it. The reason you see 150 ppi here, and you remember with the bridge, you can make things bigger, and this is being previewed. This is a very big image. They make it in high res for print, 300, but it slows down the workflow. So I'm going to double click, and it's going to open this lady who we used before. She comes in very handy. I'm going to bring her in here. Looks like I want to make her just a little smaller. So what would I do? I would Command T for free transform, and then just make her a little bit smaller, somewhat center her, and then I can hit the Enter key on my extended keyboard or the Return key on any keyboard. Now I am going to select the white with Magic Wand. And that's too much, in case you haven't noticed. It's selecting part of her hand. Now I'm going to deselect. I'm going to change the tolerance to lower so that I don't select as many white pixels. The tolerance, whatever you click on, that's all it's going to select is what you've clicked on, that color. The higher the tolerance, it's going to look at shades of what you've clicked on. Something very important to remember, and I'm not sure I told you that. 20, I'm going to make 20. Go to here so I get off of that. So it takes it, oh, so it says 23. Let's see what happens. Much better. Hold the Shift key and get this. Hold the Shift key, let's zoom in. Hold the Shift key. Oh, I have to get back here. The Shift key here, here, here. That's pretty good, but I can see some weird stuff happening with the pen. Oh, I also see down here. Let's just look up. Okay, it looks like it got most of the white, but the pen needs a little bit of work. Rather than going back and forth with the selection tool, I'm going to go into Quick Mask. I'm going to zoom in. And I need this area here. The paintbrush might be a little bit imperfect, and I'm just going to introduce you briefly. This is the lasso tool. The first one is freehand. I don't want freehand. I want the second one. I clicked, see the Polygon Lasso? We're going to do the lasso in the next exercise, so this is kind of a lead into that. Polygon, you click, it makes straight lines. You have to meet the beginning point with the end point. I'm going to click up here. I'm going to click here. And notice when I get back to the beginning, there's a tiny little circle that shows. If you don't see it, but you know you're there, you can hold the Command key or the Control key on the PC. Click. There, I got that area in there. I'm going to go, I'm staying in Quick Mask because I want to fill it with Quick Mask. So I'm going to go to Fill. And I don't want it to fill with white. I made a mistake. And instead of going out and flipping it, I'm going to go to Color. I think I believe, yeah, you have to go. Let's see if I go back to click OK. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry, I didn't even see it up there. If you want pure black, I have found rather than trying to click in a corner, see it says RGB 222 and I want 000. If you glide into a corner, you can get an exact black or white. So up here I could glide in. 255 is the max. That's pure white. 000 is pure black. Click OK. Click OK. And now I have filled it. I'm not done yet though because I'm still in Quick Mask. That is in Photoshop not a workable stencil. So I'm going to go to deselect. I'm going to zoom back out. And I am going to go out of Quick Mask and see what my selection looks like, and it's all of the white is selected. What I did when I did that little triangle to get the tip of the pen is I added to the selection by hand, really, with Quick Mask, because ultimately what we're going to do is we're going to hit the Delete or Backspace key and get rid of the white, so we have her separated from her background. And you might say, well, those are really easy ones. Is it like that in the real world? Sometimes, not always. There are things we're going to do later, and you'll see to work on masks a little more intensely. But I'm going to deselect, and now I have her separated from the background, and we're finished with this lesson, adding to and taking away from selections with Quick Mask and selection tools.